Hello and welcome to a new video. Today's video is going to be going back to a sort of series I've started on this channel. That is where I redraw Pokemon, your favourite Pokemon specifically, in my like silly style. So I've already done 2 videos prior to this. The first one was back in this sketchbook where I did this spread as well as some digital ones. Then the second time was in this sketchbook here, where I also then did some digital ones. I like to do the first half of the video doing a bunch of traditional drawings and then end it off by doing a bunch of digital drawings because there are a lot of Pokemon that I like to get through in these and I don't want them taking up my sketchbooks. So, in today's video we will be using this sketchbook. This is sketchbook 18. Yeah, we will jump right in and start. So this sketchbook is just a Sea White of Brighton sketchbook. It's nothing fancy. The paper is not amazing for alcohol markers. And since I'm doing this on a double page spread where I already have something on the other side, I wanted to use my Ohuhu marker pad paper and stick in the drawings afterwards. This would also make it easier because it means I can cut the pictures out and arrange them on the page however it would work best. This paper also, it doesn't have any bleed through, which also is just like amazing. I don't have to worry about putting any protection behind it. And we are starting off with Darumaka. I got so excited when one of you guys suggested him because he is one of my all-time favourite Pokemon and I've just been waiting for someone to suggest him, so I'm so glad. And I thought he would be perfect to start with because I've drawn him a lot and it has been quite a while since my last video of these, so it just felt like a good way to kind of jump back into doing these. So yes, it's been a while since my last video. I didn't intend for that to happen and all of the digital drawings in this video are actually from around the time that I posted the last one, but these videos can be quite a lot of work. They can burn me out very easily, so I took a massive break and it wasn't until recently when I have been in a bit more of a Pokemon mood for a very, very obvious reason. Pokopia. I don't have the game, but I've been watching someone play it and it's really gotten me back into the Pokemon mood. I thought it would be perfect to jump back into doing these since a lot of you seemed to really enjoy my other videos. I thought let's just do some for this book. So naturally, one of the Pokemon suggested was Mosslax. As soon as he was suggested, I knew I had to draw him because he is so adorable. He is from Pokopia. He's just like a variant of Mosslax who fell asleep and moss grew on him because he was asleep for so long. And I just think it's so precious because it really gives Ghibli vibes and I just had to draw him. For these illustrations, I am using Ohuhu alcohol markers. I can't remember what set this is exactly. I think they're the Honolulu ones, and it's like a set of 120, I think. They have like a great colour range, so I love them. They're one of my favourite sets. And then to line the pieces, I am also using Ohuhu markers again. These are their fine liners. They work really nicely with the alcohol markers, so it's just kind of like a no-brainer. I like to use them after I've coloured everything in, but they do work before colouring, like they are waterproof, which basically also means they are alcohol marker proof. But yeah, I typically find that I have to then put a second layer on if I use the pens first, so if I can, I try and leave lining till the end. And for Darumaka, I actually went around him afterwards at the end with a thicker line art because that is typically what I like to do with my pictures, but I felt like it kind of ruined how he looked. Like, I really preferred how he looked before I added the thick outline. So going forward, I decided to just stick with the thin line art, and I think it just makes them all look nicer and more delicate. Then for the third Pokemon, I am drawing Gengar, and if you have watched my previous videos, you know that I have drawn Gengar before. There are a couple doubles in this video because I haven't done one of these in a while. I just thought it would be nice to just do a couple that I've enjoyed doing in the past and give them a kind of update. And also I was doing this to help finish my current sketchbook, so I was just kind of like, I just want to do some of the ones that I also want to do out of your favourite ones. So yes, there are a couple doubles, but I did try to make their designs or their poses different to their original ones. So for example, Gengar is like floating and giggling to himself. Then for this one, I am drawing Amaura. This is another one of my favourites. I have so many favourite Pokemon, but this one I was again really excited to see because I've been playing Pokemon ZA again recently, and I just got myself an Amaura in that game. So again, once I saw that someone had suggested this, I was like, I have to draw Amaura. And it just turned out so cute. I love doing these quadrupedal squishy characters. They're just so fun to draw. Usually I don't do gradient stuff when it comes to these pictures because I just want them to be simple, and I do like lines instead. But for this one I decided to try and do a gradient on their like headpieces, and I really like how it looks, but every time I look at this picture, the colours just scream Rainbow Dash to me. Obviously I know it's not all the colours of the rainbow, but the oranges and the blues, they just screamed it to me. Then another double, this is Jolteon, one of my favourite evolutions. This was another one that when I saw someone suggest it, I was like, yeah, Jolteon is my favourite, so I'm gonna draw him again. I went with a sitting pose for this one, and I struggled with it a lot. It really showed me that I need to do more practicing with like cats sitting down, because I was like, how the hell do you draw their back legs? What does that look like? And I think I got it to a point where I was somewhat happy with it, but it did really point out to me that I need to do some more practicing of cats and dogs for that matter. So at this point I thought I've been drawing these Pokemon quite big and my sketchbook is only A5, so I thought I'd cut them out and see if I had enough for my first page. So that's what I'm doing here. Surprisingly fun to cut out. I do actually enjoy cutting things out like this. So I wanted to see how they would all fit on the page and just try and get an idea of the layout. I didn't want to waste much page space, so I wanted to try and make them like fit in as much as possible and see if there was any room to add any other Pokemon. After getting this situation that I liked, I just went ahead and glued them all in. I really enjoyed doing it this way because it's one of the things I like about the digital drawing of them is I don't have to worry, I can just focus on drawing them. I don't have to worry about how they all fit on the page initially, and I can just assort them, move them around afterwards. So that was a really fun aspect to do with the traditional drawings. And after making sure everything was just flush to the page, I saw that there was like space where I could fit another small Pokemon. So I went ahead and drew an adorable Joltik, just in this really cute like lying down pose, because he is a small Pokemon, but I wanted to make sure that he would definitely fit in that space. And then also he needed to fit on this little area of paper that I was drawing him on, so it was just like such an adorable little pose, and I love how he turned out. So again, I just glued him into that space. And then I didn't want to leave the background page just blank white because I thought it looked really, really boring. So I messed around with these star cutouts of some paper, just seeing if I liked how they looked with the pieces, but I didn't think the colours worked very nicely. I just felt it kind of clashed. So I instead went with this like peachy pink colour that I just think looks really, really nice with all of them. Like it doesn't clash with anything. So then on the next page, I wanted to do this one straight into my sketchbook, which made it a little harder on figuring out like where everyone would fit together, but it was otherwise fairly easy. And I'm starting with Scraggy. I believe he is from Pokemon Black and White. I might be wrong about that, but I think that's where he's from. He was like one of my favourite Pokemon when I played that game. I was like obsessed with him because he is just so adorable. I haven't thought about him in ages actually, so this was really a really nice like nostalgic moment when someone suggested him, and it's making me want to play again just to get him and Darumaka, of course. So the problem with this paper, as you can probably see, is it is not made for alcohol markers, so it bleeds and feathers like crazy. And sometimes I really like how that looks because it can create a really soft look. And I've used this paper in illustrations in the past and, you know, really liked how it looked. But in cases like this where I really want it to be uniform, it is quite unbearable. I still end up doing a page full of them on this page, and I did eventually start to get a bit better at like knowing how much pen to put down, but it is it is a very messy page, and the colours look very different. So for example, the colour on Scraggy's eye and mouth is the same colour that I used for Jolteon's white part and Snorlax's face. They are a lot darker on this paper, which was it threw me off a lot, so the colour palette looks a bit different. And things like to bleed into each other, and so it was a little bit of a challenge, and it did make me think maybe I should have just stuck to the Ohuhu paper, but I just really didn't want to like waste any more paper in this sketchbook by just covering it with other paper. Yeah, it didn't bother me enough, you know, so I was kind of fine with it in that regard. but I am aware that it will probably, a lot of you may not like it. And now we are moving on to Audino. Audino is an interesting Pokemon because I like them. I think their design is like, it's kind of pretty in a strange way, but they've never really like stood out to me that much. I don't know, I don't even know what type they are. Are they a normal type or are they a fairy type? I feel like they're fairy. But yeah, they were very fun to draw. They were very soft, round Pokemon, which I always loved drawing. Then we are moving on to Piplup, who is another one of my favourites, but that is difficult because all of the Diamond and Pearl starters are amazing. They're like, it's always hard to pick like which one is my favourite. I think I always lean a little more towards Piplup because they were my first choice, but Turtwig and Chimchar are just so adorable. They're like some of the perfect starters, and I love all of their final designs. I think they were amazing. Unfortunately, as you can see, the blue did bleed into the face on this Piplup, because that's another thing about this paper is everything takes forever to dry. So my timing was very off in that regard because the Ohuhu paper, everything dried relatively quickly. Like I didn't actually have to like stop and properly wait for anything to dry. So then when it came to doing these ones, and especially with Piplup, my timings were just off, so it was very messy. And yeah, it just, I was a little upset because like this one here, Chonk, I absolutely loved how his sketch turned out, and he looks alright by the end, but colouring him in, it did kind of like, you kind of lost everything about what I loved about him, like his shape. It just it all got lost, unfortunately. But I do really like how he turned out. I love Lechonk. He's one of the characters from Scarlet and Violet that I really, really love. I'm not a huge fan of his evolutions, but I never really caught those or evolved Lechonk, so I can just pretend that they don't exist. That's really harsh. That sounds so harsh, but yeah, they're kind of weird. And then the last one for this page is Impidimp. He is a funny little guy. Another one where his, like, I can't remember what his middle evolution looks like, but his final one is so weird. It's like a JoJo design. Like, it looks so strange when you compare it to his first evolution. But yeah, Impidimp is just a funny little guy. So same thing that I did on the previous page. I wanted to add some stars again to just tie it in and give it more going on, and I really like how that looks. I did then also want to do a third page in my sketchbook, so we are again going back to the Ohuhu paper because obviously all of those ones that I just drew bled through that page, so I needed to cover up the other side. And we are starting with Teddiursa, who is so adorable. That's something I really like about doing these videos, is there are Pokemon that I've always like thought were cute and just like had a general likeness for. One of them is like Teddiursa. I've always thought they were cute, but I've never really paid them much attention. But then when I do these videos and I actually focus on them and I think about them a bit more, I then get like a different appreciation for them. The same thing happened for like Sneasel. I really like them. I think their designs are adorable. They're simple but great. And it also just made me realise how like I've never had a Teddiursa before. Oh, what is its evolved form called? It's Ursaring? Hang on, I gotta look that up. Ursaring. Yeah. I don't know why that sounded wrong to me. Ursaring is also like such a cool evolution. Like, it's kind of sad that you lose the adorable baby cuddly bear, but Ursaring is actually like really, really cool. And I want to go back and this is the problem with these videos, it makes me want to go back and play all of the games again just to catch these Pokemon that I've like never used before, and I just don't have time for that, and there's too many games. Yeah, I do like that these videos make me appreciate those Pokemon more. We are then drawing a Shiny Umbreon. I think we've drawn a normal Umbreon before in one of the previous videos, but this time we're drawing a shiny one. And Shiny Umbreon is like one of the perfect EV shinies. I think the other one would probably be Sylveon. Sylveon's shiny is just like peak design. I love it so much. But Umbreon is just so cool because the yellow gets swapped to a blue and it just makes me angrier about the other evolutions, because like, what do you mean Espeon's shiny is neon green? Like, they look like an alien, like in a bad way, and I just don't understand the design choice behind that. And they've had every opportunity to change the shinies and they just never have. But like, Umbreon's is so good. It's just a very simple change, but like, you don't need the shinies to go too crazy. Then we are drawing Venipede. I think this one's Venipede, and I think the last one is like Scolipede. I get them mixed up, the names a lot, which is very frustrating. But I have had a newfound appreciation for these Pokemon because I have them in Pokemon ZA. I have a Scolipede that I named Razzle, because like razzle dazzle, I guess. I genuinely can't remember why I named it that, but I think it's such a perfect name. And this little guy is just so cute. I was in the mood for drawing another round small thing, so this was kind of perfect because Scolipede is absolutely so cool, but they are very big and I genuinely wasn't in the mood for drawing something that big, so Venipede was just like the perfect next step. I do think I ended up drawing them more red, like their actual design is a more like purple red, but I didn't have the colours for that, so yeah, he ended up being red, but I still think he ended up looking cool. Here we are then drawing Spheal. I feel like I've drawn Spheal before, but I actually genuinely cannot remember. But he is just so cute. He's just a little ball and he's just so fun to draw. So it was really hard when someone said draw Spheal. It was really hard to find a reason not to. And he's just the funniest little guy. He's one of my favourites, I think, in this video. And then down here we are drawing Murkrow, another one of my favourites. Hard to resist again when someone said, please can you draw him? Murkrow is just a strange one. I don't know if I liked Murkrow that much when I was younger. It is another one where it's been like as I've gotten older, I've loved Murkrow. I think that has also got something to do with my newfound love of birds, but I think Murkrow came before that. As in, I think I liked Murkrow before I have recently gotten obsessed with birds. So maybe he's like one of the reasons why. Maybe he was one of the first signs. But I just genuinely love crows, and I think Murkrow is just such an adorable little guy because he's got his own little hat. It's so cute. Honchkrow? Yeah, it's a cool design. I don't think I've ever actually got one before, mostly because I don't want to lose Murkrow's design. He's just so cute, so I don't think I've ever evolved one before. But I think, yeah, as a separate design, Honchkrow is pretty cool. So I am now cutting them out again so that I can see how much space is on the page I'm gluing them to. I realised that I was drawing like all of my traditional Pokemon like quite big. I think I drew them a lot bigger than the ones I've done in previous videos, so that's another reason why I was like, I have to keep checking, and why I ended up doing 3 pages as well is because I wanted to do like a decent amount of Pokemon. So yeah, here you can see me gluing them into the back of the other page, and I decided that I wasn't going to like cover up the bleed through from the other ones, because I actually really like how it looks. I think the colours look really nice, and I don't think dreamlike is the right word, but it just looks so soft and like candy-like having them behind them. And again, there was extra space for another Pokemon, so I decided to fit Trapinch in here because I don't really draw Trapinch that often in general, but they are another adorable one, and he's small enough that he could fit in that gap, so he just felt perfect. So yeah, after gluing him in, I once again added the pink stars. They blended in quite a bit to the background bit, but I still wanted to add them to add a bit of interest. And now that the traditional drawings are done, I am moving on to the digital drawings. I am using Paint Tool Sai for this, and it's just a lot easier, a lot cleaner. I also don't have to worry about lighting when it comes to doing these digital drawings, so I have done a bunch of digital drawings for this. I like to start by doing a rough drawing in a red pen, and then once I've got like all the shapes down, I go in with a black pen and just get all the line work done and refine everything a bit. It's quite a fun process. I do really enjoy doing this, which is obviously why I keep making these videos. What was I saying? I genuinely can't remember where that thought process was going. But yeah, I then do I select around the drawing and then invert it to help give me the selected area on the inside. This was a tip that one of you guys suggested ages ago, because it just helps me, it helps to not like colour outside of the line work. And I previously did a very tedious method where I would outline everything, but this method is a lot quicker. It means I don't have to do any extra work, so a massive thank you to that person. Unfortunately, I can't remember who it was that suggested it. I mentioned it in the previous video as well that I had started doing this method as well, but it is a lifesaver. So thank you. I imagine it's also a lot less tedious for you guys to watch, so as a bonus. I really enjoy doing this digital method. It's a lot more freeing, I feel, because I'm not limited by the space of the sketchbook, and I feel like I can do these bigger, more intricate Pokemon a lot easier. So you will be seeing like a lot of those in the digital drawings here. So for example, we started with Delphox and we are now drawing the Iron Moth, which is a variant version of Volcarona. It is a version that shows up in Pokemon Violet. I'm not a big fan of the metal version Pokemon. I think the prehistoric looking ones look a lot cooler. But there are a couple metal ones that I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. And this one does look kind of cool, but I also feel like that's just because Volcarona has a pretty cool design anyway. I feel like I always bring up Scarlet and Violet when I'm doing these videos, so I feel like I should bring it up again. In the previous video, I think I had said that I had started playing Scarlet and Violet, and I stopped playing it because I stopped enjoying it. There were a lot of you that said that I needed to finish it to enjoy it, and I just wanted to report back that I did finish the game. I still didn't like it. I just don't think it was for me. That game is just, yeah, I really don't like it. There are aspects about it that I did kind of enjoy, and I think a lot of my initial enjoyment came from the fact that it was, you know, a new Pokemon game, something I'd never played before, and I was enjoying that aspect of it. But then once I got past that, I was getting very tired of it. And I'm sorry, but finishing the game didn't change anything for me. I have, however, been playing Pokemon ZA, which you might know if you've been following me on Instagram, and I have thoroughly been enjoying that game. I did take a break for a while for whatever reason, but I've recently been playing it again, and I just genuinely, I love playing that game. It's so fun. I worried that I wouldn't because it is a completely different playstyle to like any of the previous Pokemon games. Although it might be similar to Arceus, but I never played Arceus, so I actually don't know. I've been enjoying it a lot, and even though it doesn't have any like new Pokemon designs, I'm kind of cool with it because it does have a lot of old Pokemon that I do genuinely love. I will finish it at some point. I've just been taking my time with it a bit because I've been distracted by a lot of stuff. I can safely say that I really, really like ZA. I'm comforted by the fact that I don't just straight up hate all of the new Pokemon games, because that was something I was always worried about, where I was like, am I really just not going to be able to play any of the new ones? But now I know that like there is a type that I enjoy. I'm comforted again that I will probably like some of them. They have like released stuff for a brand new Pokemon game. I think, is it called like Wind and Waves or something? And I don't know how I feel about it. I think the starters are interesting. I really like the grass bird. Again, probably because I love birds. I think the gecko looks like it could be cool because I really, really love when they go the like lizard route with Pokemon. I unfortunately don't really like the dog because he looks really basic. They're all kind of basic to an extent, but the dog really looks like that dog from Undertale. So my brain is just like, what are you going to do with it? But of course, ultimately, it all depends on what their next evolutions are like, because I've been so disappointed with like next evolutions for a lot of recent starters. So I really, really hope that they're good. Speaking of, we're drawing Quaxly, who I just can't stand. And his last one just, oh my god, it's so annoying because it won't stop moving when it's on the screen. Sorry, I know there are a lot of people out there that like Quaxly, because, I mean, like, he is an adorable duck, and by all reason I should like him, but I don't for some reason. Anyway, with the new game, I realised, because, like, since Picopia has come out, and Picopia looks adorable, the graphics in it are so soft, it's like the perfect balance of 3D with their old, like, Pokemon style. Like, it gives Ghibli vibes to me. I feel like that's what they should be doing with, like, their mainline Pokemon games. Like, if the new ones were going less for, like, a super realistic look and lent more into, like, what Picopia looks like, where it's a stylized look. That's what I personally want from the games. I know that some people do like the realistic look, but for me, that's what I feel like the games are missing. And of course, this is all subjective, and I don't mean to just be, like, on a negative barrage right now. But that's what I feel about the games. And obviously that doesn't, like, negate anyone else's opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I just thought I'd share it since I don't know what else to talk about right now. Yeah, I really want to play a Studio Ghibli Pokemon game, basically. That's what I crave. Is the Ghibli vibes. We are drawing Tangela now, which feels fitting because Tangrowth is in Picopia. And I did a different method because he is, like, a ton of, like, noodle knots, and I didn't initially know how I was going to draw all of that, so you may have noticed that I used a really, really thick brush to draw them, and then I used a slightly smaller eraser, and it just kind of, like, created line work that way. I did then go in afterwards and draw some of his noodles in properly, but as, like, a cheat method, that really, really worked to get, like, the bulk of it down. And then adding his little shading in, I feel like he just... I really like how he turned out. I think I kind of got the whole tangled mess look. I think that's how it comes across. He was surprisingly fun to draw. And we're moving on to Rockruff. I had so much fun drawing this little guy. I wanted him to just come across as a silly little goofy dog. And I feel like this pose was just perfect for that. I genuinely don't know where it came from. I just had so much fun drawing this little guy, and I just love drawing little dogs and cat creatures, so he was so fun to draw. Okay, so for the next one, I was drawing Mudbray. This is another one that I really like the design of, but I don't really use them that often, if at all. They're another one where I kind of want to go back to that game and use them. The only reason I can assume I don't use them is they just don't really fit on my team that much. But I don't actually know what typing they are. I think they're like rock or ground normal. Let me look that up. What are they? Oh, they're just ground. I don't think I use many ground Pokemon on my teams in general. I think also the issue is I like to have like dual types on my team, so yeah, that kind of explains it. But hang on, what does he evolve into? Mudsdale. Yeah, they're still ground, but they look so cool. They're very weird design, but they look really cool. here I'm drawing Meloetta. I don't know how you say their name. I don't even know what game they're from. I don't think I've seen one before. I know like nothing about this Pokemon. Yeah, they're cute. I think their color scheme is nice. I don't really know what to say about them, honestly. And now we're moving on to one of my favourites. This is Toxtricity. They are from Sword and Shield, and even their previous form was Toxel, I think is what it's called. As soon as I saw that in the game, I was obsessed. But then when they became this guy, he's just like, he's so cool. I think this is the version that I got in the game as well, because there are like 2 versions. I can't remember what they're called, but the other one's got like blue spikes coming out of his head. This is the version that I got, and so he's my favourite. I just really like these designs where, yes, he is a bipedal person looking shape, but because he's got like such strange proportions and he's like a super slouched bad posture character, I actually do really like those designs. I think also because they're just so fun to draw. I really love drawing slouched characters, because I think in the previous video I drew Obstagoon and he was a lot of fun as well. It's the same with Golisopod. I love that character because 1, they're really cool, they're a cool bug character, but 2, they have terrible posture and it just makes them really cool. Now I'm drawing Garbodor, which is my least favourite in this video, I think. The Pokemon themselves is fine, but this drawing of them, I kind of want to do it again, but differently, because I feel like I did them such a disservice with how I drew them. I think like they are kind of an awkward one to draw because they have like quite a fixed shape. I could have drawn them more blobby, I guess, but I didn't. Garbodor and Trubbish are like a really weird Pokemon because they are, well, Trubbish at least is adorable. I really like Trubbish, but they are trash Pokemon, and so I think in reality I could not stand them. They would be so stinky, and I have a very sensitive nose when it comes to stuff like that. I feel kind of bad for them because then like they must not get that many like actual people who like them, like if you were in the world, because they smell so bad. I don't know, that kind of sucks. So for this video I did end up doing quite a lot less Pokemon than I have in my previous videos. I think I've already mentioned this, but I think this is actually a better idea to do smaller videos with less Pokemon in, if I decide to keep doing this series, that is. There is no guarantee that I will be making any more of these. I do not want to get your hopes up because I've already been like terrible when it comes to posting these videos, but I think if I do, I think doing like less Pokemon is way more manageable for me, because in the previous ones I did like 90 to 100, which burnt me out like crazy and made it really difficult for me to like want to carry on. Yeah, it's just very overwhelming. So I think if I continue to do these videos, they will probably be around the like 40 mark, which is where this video is. I believe there are like 48 Pokemon in this video. But yeah, if you guys are still enjoying this and you are happier with shorter videos, then I will do my best to make another one. But I'm not gonna make any promises. Especially since I have quite a few videos planned at the moment, so they need to come out. I also am actually working on a separate Pokemon video that is not one of these type videos. I actually finished filming it in sometime last year, but I've just been taking a while to edit it because it has not been a priority and I've had other things that have come up. But yeah, if you guys are cool with more Pokemon content, I have more on the way, and I also have some others planned that I really want to do. I'll spoil it for you now just to get like an idea of what you think. So I have got some like Pokemon card binders, and I have recently seen some art on Instagram of people painting and using like acrylic markers on their binders to give them like really pretty covers. Specifically, I've been seeing Pokemon related covers because they're like full of Pokemon cards, the binders. I really want to do something like that, and I have 2 binders that I could like do this on. I think that would be really fun, so if you guys want to see something like that, I would love to make a video for you. I then also, because like I'm not like a proper collector of Pokemon cards, but I have got some, I have a lot of blank spaces in my Pokemon binder where I just don't have the cards for that Pokemon, and I either can't get them or I don't want to buy more packs because like they're not cheap. Those packs are really expensive and really hard to find, especially if there are specific cards that you want. And I really do not want to get into that. I do not want to become like an actual die-hard collector. I'm just doing it for fun every now and then. Like I just buy a couple packs like once a year. So I thought it would be really fun because I have left spaces for the cards that I'm missing that I imagine I will never get. I thought it would be fun to like just make my own silly cards for them. Like they don't have to be serious. They don't have to actually function as the game wants the cards to function. I thought it would be fun to just make the cards of the Pokemon I'm missing. And if you guys are interested, I would love to do that in a video as well. Just like maybe make that a series of slowly filling up my binder with my silly Pokemon cards. So yeah, again, let me know if that's another thing you'd like to see, because I would love to make that for you, because I'll probably be doing it regardless of if it's a video. But if people want to see it, then I'd be happy to film it and talk about it. That one would, I think, come after the painting on the binder video, because I feel like that just makes the most sense. But yeah, so I have Pokemon ideas planned because I'm always gonna love Pokemon. Pokemon is just like part of my identity, I guess. Like life doesn't make sense without Pokemon being in it, which might sound extreme, but it's like it's been there my whole life, so it does kind of, it feels normal to me, as I'm sure it does to a lot of people. And it's really fun just putting things out there and having other people also really enjoying it and sharing their stuff about it. So I love making Pokemon content. Oh, also another thing I wanted to mention, I mentioned this in the last video as well because it was relevant then as well, but none of these designs in this video will be going up on my Redbubble, and I am very sorry about that. I know a lot of you want them on my Redbubble because I have got a couple up from my very first video, but unfortunately every single time I try to upload a design since those ones, they get taken down immediately. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can't add any more. I have no idea why the first ones are still up, why they're okay. I guess they've gone under the radar and they just haven't been noticed. But unfortunately I can't do that again. So I am really, really sorry if you wanted any of these designs. Yeah, it sucks. I would love to put them up for you, but I physically can't. So yeah. I am going to keep trying, like, every now and then, to post more of these designs up and see if they can go up. The chances of that happening are extremely low. I will, like, make an announcement if I manage to get any successfully up, but I am going to keep trying. I do want to say a big thank you to everyone who submitted, like, on my Instagram story when I asked, like, who's your favourite Pokemon. I want to thank you all for submitting who your favourite Pokemon was. It's really fun to see, like, how many people like the same ones, but also I really love when, like, just a random one that I do not expect to see pops up. It's really nice to see, like, how many Pokemon get love and attention. Like, for example, when I was talking about how stinky Garbodor is, it's really cute that he is someone's favourite. Like, I really love that. It's really nice seeing that in these videos. And also it's so fun just, like, drawing Pokemon that I otherwise would have never drawn before, because, like, not all of these are my favourite. They're, like, some that I'm either cool with or I just don't care for. But drawing in these videos does make me more partial to some of them, because I then get, like, a better appreciation for their design or something. And it's also, I love drawing all these different types of Pokemon, so it's really fun just the amount of variety that is in these videos. So yeah, massive thank you for all of you guys for just, like, constantly interacting with my stuff and helping me with these things when I ask for them or ask for suggestions. It's just really cool. And I love how many of you also love Pokemon. Like, it just makes me so happy because I love Pokemon so much. Ooh, so here I am drawing Swampert. He was a lot of fun to draw because I think at the time I was making this drawing of him, I had been drawing him because he is one of my brother's favourite Pokemon, and I had drawn him as like a birthday present, so I kind of had a goofy idea for him in mind already. And he's just so fun to draw because he is this like big chunky round guy. He's just a fun guy to draw. I love the Mudkip line. I think he's great. I think the middle one is the strangest one. I can't remember what he's called. He's so he's got a very intense stare, and I don't know if he's been suggested yet in one of these videos, and I'm wondering if people just don't like him because he's different, because he's a bit strange. But Swampert is so cool. He is one of my favourites from that generation as well. That generation is really hard to decide because Torchic is like very precious to me as well, because when I was younger, Torchic was my favourite. I would always go for them. But then also you have, what's he called? What is he called? Trico. No. Is it Trico? He's the one that I picked the least, so I forget his name. Trico? Yes, Trico. He's also really cool. And they all have like amazing end designs. Like, that's just like such a good generation. Speaking of, I am currently drawing Emboar from, unfortunately, my least favourite starters. I think after drawing this though, I think if I had to choose like who my favourite of the starters are, it would probably be Tepig and Emboar, because the other ones I don't like that much. Oshawott, when the game first came out, I thought he was adorable, but unfortunately his final evolution has kind of like retroactively made me dislike Oshawott. There's then also the fact that I see Oshawott everywhere, that I don't want to be mean, but I do kind of get sick of it. And then the other one, what is it? Is it called Snivy or something? It's fine, it's just kind of plain. Whereas Tepig is adorable. He's a cute little pig. And I never really cared for Emboar. I thought he was kind of I just didn't like his design that much, but drawing him here, unless it's just the way that I've drawn him, I do kind of like him. Maybe if I went back and played black and white, I would pick him. But then the problem is I want a Darumaka on my team, and I don't like having more than one of the same type on my team. So then it's like, what would I do in that situation? Would I swap them? Oh, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I really like his like massive fangs, how I've drawn them here. Hang on. I want to see what does Emboar look like compared to this. Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, I don't mind him. He looks kind of cool. Maybe he would be my favourite. I mean, he is a bit strange. No, I kind of like him. I think he's alright, actually. So maybe I've been turned. Maybe I've turned around on this. He is a bit strange, but anyway, I'm gonna move on past that. I'm drawing Butterfree now. I love Butterfree. I feel like I mentioned this in the last video, but I always am like so confused why the shiny for Butterfree isn't pink. Like, there was that episode of Pokemon where you had, what was it? It was like Be Free Butterfree or something. And Ash's Butterfree wanted to leave because it fell in love with this pink Butterfree. And why did they do that? They gave us like peak shiny design right there. And then actual Butterfree is, what? Is it green or yellow? It's like horrible. Show me. Google, show me. Oh, it's just like a purple with green eyes and pink hands. Like, I hate it. Like, I was so disappointed when I got a shiny Caterpie. I bred for it because I don't think I had any internet back then, so I didn't look up what a shiny Butterfree was like. But I was like breeding for a shiny one, and then when it evolved into that, I almost broke down. That was so upsetting because like the pink one, it's so perfect. Why didn't they do that? No, I'll never forgive them. I'll never forgive them for that. Politoed is just cute. I don't know, he's adorable. I love him. His colour scheme is beautiful. Have I ever had one? I don't know. But I've always wanted one. I think you need like a King's Pearl or something. A King's Rock. Then we've got Heracross, who I think is like, I kind of like his design. He's kind of cool. Does he evolve into anything? I can't remember if he's just a single evolution. I think he is. Does he evolve? No, he doesn't evolve. Yeah, he's a simple design, kind of like him. I don't know if I've ever had one because I think maybe he went under my radar. I'm not sure, but he's kind of cool. Then we are drawing Meowth. I love Meowth. He is just so cute. He's got such a fun design. I just like drawing little smug cat. He was just a joy to draw. Everything about his design. He would make a perfect Animal Crossing villager, honestly. Maybe that's why he's so fun to draw, because like his proportions are perfect for that. He kind of looks like one. I really want an Animal Crossing Pokemon game. I know we just got Pokopia out, but that's like not exactly what I mean. I really, really like the gambling thing. Well, not gambling, hang on, that sounds really bad. I mean the fact that you don't know what villager you're gonna get when you play Animal Crossing. There's the whole like, who you're gonna get, and you go villager hunting. I want that, but for Pokemon. I want the randomness and like not everyone having the same Pokemon on their island or on their team. That's like one of the things I love about the main games, is that everyone's teams are going to be like different to each other, and I want that element in Animal Crossing, but I want a better Animal Crossing, you know? That was a bit of a tangent at the end there. But yes, so that is all of the Pokemon. Like I said, I think that's about 48. There should be timestamps, so that should help. Once again, I've printed out the digital ones and I just stuck them here on this page because like I have, it's a swatch sheet on the other side, so I just wanted to cover up some of the swatch sheets, but I printed it too small. It's fine, it fits, you can still see it, and so now you can just like look at them all. Yay! We did it! Yeah, so this was so much fun. I really loved doing this because like I said, I've been in a Pokemon mood. I just needed to get some Pokemon out of my system. Obviously it's not out of my system because I've still got more Pokemon videos planned. This was just a really nice way to finish my book, because this book is finished. If you've been following me on Instagram, you already know that. I've been sharing that in my posts and on my story, but I have got a couple other videos, or I think it's just one other video, that takes place in this book. So it's going to be a little while until my starting a new sketchbook video, and it's going to be even longer till the sketchbook tour video because I have other planned videos. Everything needs fitting in together. Honestly, it's a mess, but I'm gonna make it work. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I drew some of your favourites. Obviously, I'm not going to draw everyone's favourite because there are so many Pokemon and I've only drawn a handful today. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you all for your suggestions and for watching this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Also, I want to say a massive thank you to my patrons, as always. Dispe, Grimclow, The Waffle of Life, Non-Toxic, Saint Nix, LP, Kira May, Kay, Joanna, Mila, Pretty Rotten, Quiet Rot, Joanna Snake Moon, Humble Frogs, Local Fishkeeper, Mold Ghoul, Fararware, Sun Arts, Molly Marula, Scout Radley, Sammy Bear 127, Kenzania, Arrow, Charlie, Malorus, Cindy King, Art by Lavender, Angela's Weird Tales, Rainbow Tea, Breaded Nuggets, Learns, Human Eye, The Moth Bug, Nox, Catbird House, The Tormented Shadow, Sweet and Hopeless, Pocket, Jordan's Tiny Planet, The Coffee Rain, Black Jackal Art, Leela Loves You, Faith, A. Wendu, Ronnie, Olivia Gadbor, Feather, Cherished Needham, Rotting Lettuce, Binixary, Cyrus Orion, Mottled Pixel, Malbon Designs, Gamut Girl, Solar Tortoise, Auden, Red S Lily, Haley, Sienna G, Lady Ratbird, Fia, Greenfinch G Illustration, Lynn, Cody, Kaleidoscope Arm, Cloud, Clearfix, Redders, Zeutka, Beetle Ghost, Melisandre Sinclair, Bria Washington, Hurrier, June, Dakota Garcia, Manon, Lily Likes Art, Rona, Levi, Kira's Cozy Corner, Tink, Daniel McGuinness, Janine, Deals Live, K2, Flossie, Stegosaurus, Yoinks, Stoyan, Bleety, Spooky Chloe, Starry Fern, Kiki, Nuclear Nail Bomb, P. Right Stuff, Reg Norway, JGP, Spaceman Theo, Slurp, Nosebridge, Cherry, In the Clouds, Nowil, Saturn, Saturn's War.jpg, Bunnybee, Samara, One Jolteon, Lee H, Jen B. Burning, Fenray, Cinderace, Mon, I Like Tea and Pokemon, Kaino K, Bland Polecat, Destiny, Kaya D, Jamie, Riggs M23, Lolly, Kendall Collins, Mel Vogel, Lily Lelkels, Lex, Vienne, Dean Marie, Minwa, Frillian, Valania Madeira, Arc Angle, Cindy Flint, Till Arts, and Idea Fox. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I should hopefully have a video for you guys soon, so I will see you then.